by CFU, the power of service.
The UNI Panthers get a 38-14 win over Butler in the season opener, kicking off the Todd Stepsis era with the W. And Coach, let's talk defense now. Giving up 14 points in the first half. Your team made some great adjustments, pitched a shutout in the second half. Start to finish, how did you guys grade the D?
We need to improve. I think just in the run game, our run defense just wasn't as stout as it usually can be. And so I think part of that was first game jitters. Part of that, I think, a little bit on us as coaches, maybe having too much. I think there is a point of diminishing returns, especially, really all three phases, but defensively, what a lot of people don't realize is for every call, you need to be able to adjust in dozens of different ways depending on what you're going to see. So if you have too many calls and you're playing a team that's going to show a bunch of different looks, to be able to adjust and be sound with all of those calls and all 11 guys knowing what they're doing, I think sometimes you run into some problems, which is really what happened to us in the first half. But second half, you get back to basics, you call your meat and potatoes, all 11 guys know what they're doing, they get lined up, they come off the ball fast, and good things happen.
Panther defense led by Tucker Langenberg in tackles. The captain on the defense was all over the place, and his job is so important. One thing that stood out to me for your defense, creating 3 takeaways. It started with Caleb Frazier recovering a fumble, a very important stop by the D in the first half.
Oh yeah, we have a formula for winning that we go over every single weekend. We talk about takeaways, we talk about explosive plays, we talk about winning the fourth quarter, and we +3 in the turnover. You're going to win the majority of your games just off of that alone. And I think defensively, the second half shutout was big, but I think we only gave up, I think it was 3 plays that were 16 yards or more. So I think when you're making teams earn it and making them go the length of the field, a lot of offenses are going to screw it up at some point. And so I think continuing to play team defense, rally to the ball, eliminate the big plays, and then when the ball is in the air to get to bring it down. Both of those interceptions that we had were not easy. Jay Martz, he tipped it to kind of himself. He's trying to knock it down and then somehow stays balanced, goes up and gets it, stays in bounds. And then Joe's, he looked like a receiver, high pointing the ball out there. So we've got some DBs that they buck the trend of like, oh yeah, the reason they're playing DB is they can't catch. No, we got some DBs that got some pretty sticky fingers.
And Joe Hall III with an interception, and Jonathan Cabral-Martin with an interception. We have a story now on the defensive back for the UNI Panthers, Jonathan Cabral-Martin.